Wow. This show was just as good as I remember it being. This, of course, is WWF Badd Blood 1997. Now, I believe this was In Your House 18, but don't quote me on that, because I tend to always get them wrong. Right, we've got to start off the show on a bad note. Brian Pillman, who was set to face Dude Love on the card, was found dead in his hotel room earlier on in the day, and the announcer just treated it so casually, like as if it was a part of the storyline. Like, obviously they used a bit of a somber voice, but like, Brian Pillman's been found dead, but we're going to tell you all about that when we find out more info. And I was just a bit like, oh, don't do that. Just say he's died and then announce whatever tomorrow. But yeah, this was really sad. I remember, like, obviously I've been watching the episodes of Raw as well, like building up to these pay-per-views, and it was just so sad. Watching the one after One Night Only, the episode of Raw, because Pillman was so good, and I was like, oh, Pillman. I thought to myself, oh, Pillman's so good, and then I just thought, shit, this might be his last one because he dies just before Badd Blood. And then the next week on Raw, he was awesome again, and then that's it. It's gone. And it's so tragic. So I may do a Brian Pillman tribute video. I'm not too sure because I don't know a lot about his earlier career in WCW. So, but yeah, Brian Pillman, what a talented guy, amazing worker. The promos he did at the end of his WCW run were fantastic. The character, he's so charismatic, such a good in-ring worker, even with the foot injury they ended up getting. Fantastic worker. But yeah, sadly he died just before the pay-per-view when he was supposed to be fighting, and it was of a drug overdose, which they announced later on in the thing, and apparently it was prescription based and it wasn't an suicide sort of thing, it was just an accidental overdose. So it's the way things go sometimes, isn't it? Isn't it? Right, first match of the card, we had the Nation of Domination, which was The Rock, Karma and D'Lo Brown against the Legion of Doom, and they were supposed to have a tag team partner. I can't remember if it was Ahmed Johnson or if it was Ken Shamrock, but it was one of the two. Basically the Nation of Domination won. This was like The Rock really getting on his rise now, and at the start the fans are shouting, "Rock, you suck." No, it wasn't this match, it was the week before when Farouk was in a match on Raw, or maybe it was 2 weeks before, and Rocky was just at ringside, and the fans weren't even bothered about the match. They were just chanting, "Rocky sucks, Rocky sucks." It was Ahmed Johnson versus Farouk, in fact, which was a big feud at the time, which we've been talking about. Like, Farouk versus Ahmed Johnson, it was Farouk was representing that Nation of Islam sort of representation of, oh, blacks must be black, and Ahmed Johnson was representing that, no, we don't have to stick together, we should integrate sort of thing. And it was sort of like You're an Uncle Tom sort of thing, like Muhammad Ali versus Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. It was like the Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier feud, with the one representing the blacks and one representing, well, black separatism, and one representing black integration, basically. But yeah, Rock was really coming into his own right now. He was really like using that heel heat to like get the cheap heat from the fans, but like going into the ring and then the fans booing him, so him walking outside the ring and like cussing the fans out and stuff. Yeah, the Nation of Domination got the win. This was an okay match. Next up we got a great minis match when Max Mini and Nova beat Tarantula and Mosaic. The flippy stuff they did, the Lucha Libre action was fantastic in this match. Jerry Lawler it was fantastic on commentary back then. He did a great job of selling the Max Mini and Nova, and like, he was the heel and they were the faces, so he was sort of like, oh, these midgets, blah, 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 and saying like derogatory things, but then like making himself look like a fool at the same time, which was quite good. Next up we had the Godwins beating the Headbangers for the tag team titles. Now this reminded me of more of a Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champion set. This is the World Wrestling Federation. This is 1997, where things are being pushed forward, and we've got these two pig farmers as tag team champions, which is a bit strange in my opinion, but whatever. Okay match again. The fans really behind the Headbangers. Don't know why, but the fans are really behind them. This was the start of the Attitude Era. Definitely getting behind these new fresh characters that hadn't been seen before. These two punks, these two bold rockers coming out, headbangers. The fans loved them. They were so of the time. The fans loved and it's that 18 to 30 audience really getting behind them. Next up we had the finals of the Intercontinental title tournament. Austin had broke his neck when Owen Hart broke it, and then they had the tournament. In the final it was Farouk versus Owen Hart. Owen Hart got the win when the referee was distracted by Jim Neidhart. Now this was something that didn't make sense. Neidhart came out to distract the referee like, oh look at me, look at me, look at my beard. And then while he's distracted, Austin gets the belt, nails Farouk. Now that made sense, fair enough. If it happened now, we'd all be moaning like, oh, what's Austin doing? He hates Owen Hart. Why does he just let Owen Hart win? He shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it does, we all know it does make sense because he wants to fight Owen Hart later on for the title, and that's where the storyline is going. But at the time, the commentary team was saying it like, oh my god, why has he done that? We can't understand that. Blah, blah, blah. We've only just started watching wrestling like 2 days ago, obviously. So we had that. But it didn't make sense because why would Anvil distract the referee and then Owen Hart not cheat but Austin cheat? Why Anvil and Austin on the same page? No, they weren't. But yeah, Austin cheated and Owen Hart got the one. Then we had DOA versus the Boricuas. Okay match, the Boricuas stopped looking like ice cream and they finally got a bit more dress sense about them. And then DOA got the win. Good 4-on-4 match to be honest there. Then we had British Bulldog and Bret Hart teamed together for probably the only time ever as a solid tag team. And they were against Vader and the Patriot. It was supposed to be a pole match, flag match, but I think something was wrong with the pole, so they made it into a flag match and you can pin, because they ended up winning by pin and no one really climbed the pole, so the poles must have been too weak for the guys to actually climb and retrieve the flags. Then we have the main event, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. The winner gets a heavyweight championship match at Survivor Series against Bret Hart. Bearing in mind the heavyweight champion Bret Hart has just been in a tag team match. The world title has not been defended on this card. You've got a Hell in the Cell match, the first ever. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. They fought in the ring. It was a bloody battle. Then Shawn Michaels ends up nailing a cameraman, so they have to open the cell to get the cameraman out. Shawn Michaels runs out. Undertaker follows him. Undertaker starts to bloody him outside the ring. Shawn Michaels climbs up top. Undertaker follows him. They start beating on each other up there. Shawn Michaels starts to climb down, and he's got his fingers on top. Undertaker stamps on him, so Shawn Michaels goes falling through the table on the outside. Then they end up back inside the ring. Undertaker is dominating Shawn Michaels when everything goes. He gives the signal, and that was the cue for the arena to go black. The arena goes black, and then we hear this eerie music. Red lighting, and a fucking monster comes from out of the back with Paul Bearer, and the commentator spotted it a bit. I think it should have been a bit more silent, but straight away it's like, oh my god, that must be Kane. Kane comes out. The very first time we're seeing Kane, we've been hearing about him for weeks. Paul Bearer's been saying, Undertaker, you murdered your brother. Well, he's not dead, he's alive, and I'm bringing him back. And he brings back Kane. Kane rips the cell door from off its hinges, gets the referee, throws him into the cage, gets in the ring, and he is scary as fuck. He's in all red, he's in a mask, you can't see his expression, he's like Jason Voorhees from the bloody horror series. And then he gets the Undertaker, kicks him, gets him, and this is a bit stupid, he had him, and I think he was looking for where the camera was, and he kept on moving him around, and he finally tombstones him. Shawn Michaels comes over, drips the arm, referee finally gets up, 1, slow count, 2, 3, fantastic psychology. The referee worked it fantastically, the slow count, because he's been fucked over and he's trying to count. He's doing it really slowly. Shawn Michaels just gets the arm over, doesn't do a proper pin. Great build up for Undertaker Kane. Kane has made his debut. Fantastic, fantastic debut. Great main event. My favourite wrestling match of all time. Of all time. The only wrestling match that comes close to it, in my opinion, is Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson versus Desmond Moore versus Daniel Bryan in ROH Unified, which I think took place in Liverpool actually. But yeah, great main event, best match of all time in my opinion. If you've not seen the card, go and watch it on YouTube. Go and watch the Undertaker Shawn Michaels first ever Hell in a Cell match. You'll be able to find it easily. What do you think of the show? I'm sure loads of you have seen this. If you are a modern day fan and you've never seen that, please go back and watch it because it's amazing. If you enjoyed the WrestleMania matches Undertaker Shawn Michaels, you'll know what kind of matches they can put on. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button up there. Comment below your opinions on both this video, my 1997 review series, and the event itself, because I want to know your opinions if you've seen this. Some people might not have enjoyed it. Some people might have been a bit older than and thought, it was a bit hokey the way they brought Kane in a mask and he was wearing all red because it was bright red, and it did look a bit hokey if he was a bit older maybe. But to me, as a 9-year-old child watching that, I was scared shitless of Kane. He was a bloody monster. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said before, comment and all that. I'm out, and I'll see you again with my Survivor Series 1997 review. I wonder if anything good happens there.